Good morning. I am making this video as it's snowing out. We're expecting a huge storm. I just finished my workout, so this is what I look like. I have a snoozing dog we took a great walk outside before it started snowing. I wanted to make this video. I was thinking about something else, but this just really struck me this morning. So I put this in the newsletter, and many of you may have already read this. Anna Karenina. Look how big it is. I took this book with me last week when I was away on my retreat, and my intention was to read all the other books and then read this book starting on the plane on the way back, which I have done. And this is how much of it I've read. Not much progress made this week. There are like 990 something pages. It's been on my shelf for a long time. And I shared this on Instagram. Ann Patchett, who I follow, she's a wonderful author. I've read most of her books. I have a few more of hers to read too. But she owns a bookstore in Nashville, I think. Anyway, I follow her. It's called Parnassus Books on Instagram, and they're always talking about what new books there are, but Anne always does this one video on Mondays. If you haven't read it, it's new to you. And she was talking about how we get information in such short snippets, memes and posts and emails and texts, and that we need to get back to diving into what she called some long form engagement of reading. And she brought this book up, and she held this book up, and it was that exact copy translation that I have. It's really been on my shelf for, I don't know, it might be close to 10 years. I've wanted to read it. And so she kind of threw a challenge out there. Read this book, get yourself into a long story where you really have to hang with a story for a length of time. And that'll probably be a good length of time for me. So what occurred to me this morning is when I was thinking about, I don't know why this book came to my mind. Two of my most favorite books, and I haven't had time to think this fully through yet because I'm sure there are more, but this book, The Woman in White, it's big. All right, I didn't look before I started this video, but let me tell you, it has, I don't know, 600, almost 700 pages in it. One of my favorite books of all time, and I think, most favorite book of all time, A Fine Balance. Okay, this is 600 and something. Yep, 600 and something. 601. My favorite books of all time are long books. Oh, this will probably be on the list next. And that just suddenly occurred to me that when we do get into this world, especially reading something, it really can impact us and stick with us. Like The Woman in White, I think about all the time. I don't know why. I think because I sunk into a long story with, you really get to know the characters, and it's just interesting. Anyway, I'm doing this video in a different theme than I expected to, but I want to encourage you and maybe challenge you to find a long book that is at least 600 pages. I am a little over 100 pages into Anna Karenina, and this translation is wonderful, and it's really a great story, and totally different than life here right now. It's an escape, yes. I read an email from Ryan Holiday, who I love. He writes great nonfiction books, one of which is Discipline is Destiny. So it takes discipline, right? And we're going to talk about discipline within the next few weeks. Talking about reading about different things, different worlds, not watching the news, certainly not being glued to the news, and filling our minds with some other thoughts and ideas, and also learning from the past. There's just so much that is available to us. So Maybe that's why Discipline is Destiny came up, because yeah, it does take discipline to pull yourself away from the messages. Guess what? If there's actually something going on that you need to know, you will find out. I truly believe this. I stopped watching the news for the most part so many years ago, maybe 25 to 30 years ago, and I don't feel uninformed. Can I speak intelligently about every political thing? No. But I don't want to either. That's not me. It might be you. I'm not judging anybody. I'm just saying pull yourself away a little bit. Unless it's your job to know all these things, trust that you are going to know what you need to know when you need to know it. And thinking about all these things ahead of time, and what if this happens, and oh, this is happening, unless you know it for sure is happening, give yourself a break. Like that, it's actually, if you need the utmost reason, it's not good for your brain. It's actually really not good for your brain to be stuck on worry and thinking and rumination. And I could do 10 videos about that. So just take that little snippet, see how you can pull back on the input of bad news this week and input something completely different. And it doesn't have to be about, like, if you think, oh, I'm going to read this book and the point is that it's really long and it's a good goal. Yes, those are all good things. But also, you might learn something by surprise. Fiction reading is really good for the brain, as opposed to the things I was just talking about that are really not good for the brain. Reading fiction ignites different parts of your brain to think, to picture things, to figure things out. There's just so much. And of course the learning, and it's a different age and all that. So I'm not going to keep going on, but let me know if you decide to read a long book and what it is. If you're reading Anna Karenina, let me know that. Maybe we'll all gather together. Who knows? But those are books I definitely recommend to find balance. And The Woman in White. Such good books. And that was just a little aha I had this morning. So thanks for indulging me, and have a great week ahead. I'll see you next week.